Gate, and they're off. Dinkum is very quick out of the gate, but Sharon's Pharaoh wants to lead and is up to take it away. Charlie's Curlin is a joint third on the outside of Ghost Written. Then comes Postmodern, 6 off the leader. Coke in the orange colors is next, 4 clear of Stan the Man Musio. And at the back of the field is Revo, rounding the first turn. And the lead belongs to Sharon's Pharaoh with good debut speed, in control by 3. The favorite Dinkum gets a good tracking spot in second. 2.5 more back to Ghost Written, who's racing on the inside of Charlie's Curlin. 2 more to Coke on the outside. Postmodern is on the fence, 4 lengths back. Stan, the Man Musio, gets a little nudge, and he's 4 in front of Revo. Continuing down the backstretch, Misael Jaramillo and Sharon's Pharaoh in control and widening. Now it's a 6-length lead suddenly, as Dinkum is set down, trying to close the gap, and Ghost Written inches up inside of him. A 3-wide Charlie's Curlin is 5 off the leader. Another 3 back to Coke, who's by himself. In front of Postmodern, Stan the Man is losing ground, and Revo trails, a 1/4 mile to go. Sharon's Pharaoh, Charlie's Curlin moving up with a wide bid. Behind them, Dinkum. Coke is getting underway, needs to find a spot. He's a little green, but starting to close fast as Charlie's Curlin takes the lead. Coke has his mind on business now, within 2 lengths of him. Sharon's Pharaoh on the inside. It's Charlie's Curlin by 2, close to home, and Charlie's Curlin beats a promising run from Coke. Third went to Sharon's Pharaoh. Dinkum was 4th. In the gate. Got some movement there. That was Infinity Dream or a Fleet Ride. They're off. Very even start. A Fleet Ride is going out for the early lead. Moonlit Courage on the rail. Exington is now asserting in between rivals, and she is up to take the lead. So it will be Exington with a narrow advantage. Moonlit Courage now comes through. It's Moonlit Courage in front over Exington. Subtle Knowledge was in a little bit tight in between those two earlier, but is now settled comfortably down at the rail and is 3 lengths off the lead. They're followed by Infinity Dream. Say Bella is second to last, 5 lengths off the pace, and a Fleet Ride in the blue is at the back of the field. Down the backstretch, Moonlit Courage establishes the pace 5 furlongs out, leads it by a length to Exington in second. Infinity Dream in the 3-path is 2 lengths off the lead, and Subtle Knowledge is down at the rail in 4th. Say Bella is asked to kick on, does respond a bit down at the rail. Green Silk saving ground past the half-mile pole, and 2 more to a Fleet Ride. Moonlit Courage shows the way into the far turn with the favorite Exington matching strides, and now Exington puts that chestnut head in front and starts to open up. Exington sprints clear now, midway on the far turn, putting 2 lengths on Moonlit Courage in second. Continued headway for Say Bella, moving up on the outside to claim that second spot as they pass the quarter pole and turn for home. Exington and Misael Jaramillo have opened up a 5-length lead, chased intently by Say Bella, who will not surrender and is closing the gap steadily. It's either Exington or Say Bella on the outside. Say Bella's coming, and coming fast, and it will be Say Bella, and Tyler Bay's getting the money. Say Bella wins it going away. Exington second, a Fleet Ride a distant third. Is Club Cali and Lady Montclair to complete the line. They're in the gate. And they're off. Quick start for Miyako. Ms. Club Kelly is prominent as well in the early stages. And here's How Lovely. And How Lovely, intent on getting to the front, has done just that. Miyako now second. Ms. Club Kelly in the clear. 3 off the pace in third. They are followed by Miss Mar. Headstrong Ways is down on the inside. Passed by Lady Montclair, who's just 5 lengths off the lead with less than a half mile to go. And another 2 to Princess Midnight. It's How Lovely with a relatively easy lead into the far turn, tracked by Miyako, who gets a good trip in second. A length and a half back comes Miss Mar racing in third. Miss Club Cali is just outside of her. Then comes Lady Montclair in the yellow colors, 4 lengths off the lead. Princess Midnight is underway in between horses, and that leaves Headstrong Ways as the trailer there at the top of the stretch. Miyako has come to challenge How Lovely with a furlong to go. Miss Mar is 2 lengths back in third. Ms. Club Kelly is next. Princess Midnight between those two. Miyako now asserts herself and has waved goodbye. The favorite, Miyako, prevails comfortably by 3.5 lengths. Miss Mar was second. How Lovely and Princess Midnight. They're in the gate. And they're off. Definitely Probable is fast. Lady Detective hopped slightly, but is suddenly in front anyway and has opened up 2. To Lavia's World moves into second between horses, and Susie's Loaded is down at the rail. Big Coin fourth, 3.5 lengths off the clear-cut favorite, a gap of 5 to Definitely Probable, and Maggie O'Hooligan is at the back of the field. It's Diego Herrera and Lady Detective. Catch me if you can is what the detective says. She's in front by 5 or 6. To Lavia's World is second, coming after the leader. Then comes Big Coin in third. Susie's Loaded has dropped out of it, 2 lengths clear of Definitely Probable, and Maggie O'Hooligan, a 1/4 mile to go, and Lady Detective with a 4-length lead. To Lavia's World is closing the gap. These two are dominating with Big Coin a distant third. They're in the final furlong. Lady Detective by 3. To Lavia's World trying hard, angling out for a crack past the 16th pole. Lady Detective to Lavia's World. Lady Detective holding on. Lady Detective has figured it out and wins in front-running fashion. To Lavia's World finished second. Definitely Probable rallied into third. Big Coin fourth. Congratulations. The pick 6 is up next. It's the 5th and goes in 23 minutes. Kettle One is the official vodka partner of Santa Anita. They're off. Love to Gig on the extreme outside is very fast away from the gate. English Icon is up close. And now here comes Woodson moving up, 1 from the inside. And Woodson now grabs that rail and takes the second spot. Johnson's Magic is 4 lengths off the pace. They're followed by Gordon's Legacy, who inches up down on the inside. Soy Nen is right next to English Icon. That pair is joined by Sandbagger. Lock and Pharaoh is widest of all, more than 10 lengths off the lead, and a length and a half to My Box of Light. They're moving into the far turn. Love to Gig, the leader. Woodson is in hot pursuit within a length and a half of the pacemaker. Then comes Gordon's Legacy, 3 off the pace in third. Sandbagger is trying to make some headway. He races on the inside of Johnson's Magic, as the new leader is Woodson. And Woodson opens up at the top of the stretch. Love to Gig is dropping out of it. Gordon's Legacy moves into second and running a giant race. Here's Gordon's Legacy coming after Woodson, who's suddenly under serious pressure. And then comes Sandbagger, 16th pole, and Gordon's Legacy pulling away through the stretch at a big price. Gordon's Legacy was ready at first asking, and scores wrapped up by 4. Sandbagger second, Woodson third, Photo for fourth, close between Soinen and my box of light. And they're off. Turkey Bird was left. Tiger of the Sea is quick out of the gate. Here's Dad's Bad Bunny coming through to challenge in second. And All in the Game is asked to keep up with the top pair and is doing so willingly. They're followed by Despite, 6 lengths off the lead in fourth. Joyful Mischief, Judy Lynn Star. And it's a long way to Turkey Bird into the far turn. And the battle continues. Tiger of the Sea now gets the upper hand on Dad's Bad Bunny, who steadies while conceding second to All in the Game. And so the two favorites are 1-2 coming to the quarter pole. Tiger of the Sea, All in the Game, looming large though, and All in the Game on the outside, and Tiger of the Sea come for the 8th pole together. 4 back to Dad's Bad Bunny in third. Tiger of the Sea on the inside, and All in the Game, head and head, nose and nose, nothing between them. All in the Game on the outside, and Tiger of the Sea. What a horse race. Tiger of the Sea, All in the Game. Tiger of the Sea turns away All in the Game. Turkey Bird, eye-catching, came from nowhere to snatch third. Joyful Mischief was fourth. Itchy. In the gate. And they're off in the Pasadena. Brigante is quickest out of the gate. Medici has plenty of early gas, and Army Man comes away in third. Unrivaled Time is fourth. Greenwich Village on the move at the rail, claiming that third spot. Irishok is toward the back of the field. Later than planned, both of them on holds into the first turn. Another 3 to Caro Buono, and Smooth in Saturday is close to 15 lengths off the new leader. And that's Medici, who will swing on to the backstretch in hand, but still tugging his way forward. Opens up 2 on Army Man on the outside of Brigante. Then comes Greenwich Village, settled nicely in fourth. 4 lengths off the lead. He's 3/4 in front of Unrivaled Time. Another couple back to Irishok, who's racing by himself, coming to the half-mile pole later than planned, and Caro Buono. Medici and Mirko de Muro loose on the front end, 3-length advantage into the far turn. Brigante gets a nudge, Army Man outside of him. Juan Hernandez and Greenwich Village still fourth, 4 lengths off the lead. Irishok inches forward. Unrivaled Time is losing ground steadily. Down at the rail comes Caro Buono, and in between horses, later than planned, Medici is the one to catch as Greenwich Village swings into action on the outside. They're at the top of the stretch, and it's Medici with a 3-length lead. On the outside, Greenwich Village grinding away from way out of it. Caro Buono slicing and dicing through traffic. And on the outside, Irishok, Medici in front. On the outside, Greenwich Village trying to nail him on the money. Here is the line. Greenwich Village got up in the final jump to beat Medici. Irishok was flying late in a photo for third with Caro Buono. A proud advocate for hospitality workers and for his hometown of Los Angeles. Last one. And they're off. Refocus had a sharp start. Stolen Treasure comes away in good order. Armando Aguilar all over Majestic Palisades to get to the front. Mission accomplished into the first turn. So it's Majestic Palisades in front. Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy is in second. Then Stolen Treasure, Run Carry, Refocus between those two. It's a gap of 5 to Mischief's Causeway, a length and a half to Ooh Babe, who's reserved early, and the Gypsy Cowboy is at the back of the field. The pace is honest as Majestic Palisades comes to the 5/8 pole, leading by 3/4 of a length. Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy is in second. That pair is followed at the rail by Stolen Treasure, who's a joint third coming to the half-mile pole. Run Carry is next. Maldonado and Refocus comfortable in fifth, only 4 lengths off the lead. It's a gap of 6 or 7. Back to Ooh Babe, a length more to Mischief's Causeway and the Gypsy Cowboy. Majestic Palisades with 3 furlongs to run is asked to go on. He's hard-ridden, very narrowly in front of Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy, who turns up the pressure now. And on the outside, it's Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy, the new leader. 2 more lengths, Stolen Treasure. Refocus is next. 5 clear of Run Carry. Ooh Babe is down at the rail there at the top of the stretch. And a very narrow lead for Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy. Refocus finding his best stride in the center of the racetrack. Inside of them, Majestic Palisades fights on with Stolen Treasure and Ooh Babe. Coming past the 16th pole, Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy. Majestic Palisades. Whiskey, Gin, and Brandy wins the battle. Majestic Palisades second. The Gypsy Cowboy came rolling late. And then it's a photo, Ooh Babe and Stolen Treasure. Nelly. Was it? They're in the gate. And they're off. Fast start for Long May She Reign. No surprise there as she goes straight to the front, opening up a length and a half. Bessie Coleman is the gray racing in second. She's followed by Goodnight Nelly in third. America's Mark up close, just 3 off the pace in fourth. Then comes Legal Fiction, and Crystal Clean is 8 lengths off the lead. Mars Magic is next, followed by Nell's Legacy. Then comes Lamborghini, and Garden Party is at the back of the field. Continuing their run down the hill, and on the inside, Bessie Coleman has come through to challenge Long May She Reign. These two have sped 4 clear. Goodnight Nelly has a nice setup, as does America's Mark, inching up along the inside. In the meantime, Crystal Clean is rallying strongly on the outside, and Mars Magic is flying home late down on the inside. It's America's Mark. Here comes Mars Magic and Victor Espinoza after Crystal Clean. Mars Magic and Crystal Clean, that's too close to call. In behind them came America's Mark in third, and then a photo, Goodnight Nelly and Bessie Coleman. Busta Rhymes and many others visit Yamava. She goes in. They're in the gate. And they're off. Gauger is going out for the lead. Vicky Lynn has good speed, as does Go-Go Tiz. Those 3 right across the course, with Have Style at the rail in fourth. Baby Needs Shoes, fifth in the early going. She is followed by Humidity, who is just on the inside of Tate Batts. Tate Batts comes a little bit inward to save some ground, while Baby Needs Shoes veered out and bumped with Humidity into the first turn. Risky Pleasure is in the red silk, some 8 or 9 lengths off the lead. She's now 4 in front of Tate Batts, another half dozen to the 2 trailers, Genuine Grace and Long Range Pursuit. They're covered by 20 lengths or so down the back stretch. And the lead belongs to Gauger, who's in front of half a length. Go-Go Tiz is tugging hard in second. 2 more. Have Style is a closer third. Inching forward, only 2 lengths off the lead suddenly. Juan Hernandez and Vicky Lynn, fourth, 4 lengths off the leaders. They are followed by Baby Needs Shoes, joined by Risky Pleasure at the rail. Outside of that pair, it's Humidity, who has 6 or 7 to make up. Another 5 to the next flight. Tate Batts is under some pressure. She is racing on the inside of Genuine Grace and Long Range Pursuit at the back of the field. Here's Vicky Lynn let loose on the outside at the top of the stretch with a decisive bid after Gauger. Gauger hanging tough on the rail in second. 3 lengths back to Have Style in third. They're coming to the 16th pole. Vicky Lynn, Gauger not done. Coming back, Vicky Lynn, Gauger. Vicky Lynn just in front. And Vicky Lynn prevails. Gauger a good second. Have Style third. Then it was Baby Needs Shoes. and Risky Pleasure completes the super high five.
Synergy is a word you don't often hear at the racetrack, but I'll tell you what, today, Santa Anita Park has excellent synergy. I say that for three reasons. First of all, we've got fantastic weather. It feels like summertime in February here in Arcadia, California. Temperatures are going to be close to 90 degrees. Of course, that means fast and firm with minimal scratches. Secondarily, we've got two pick six carryovers, the traditional $2 pick six. Nobody has solved that riddle for 2 days in a row. That means the pool coming in today already has $198,000 in the pool. That'll start in race number 4. Also, the $1 Sunset Pick 6, linking the last 3 races at Gulfstream Park with the last 3 races at Santa Anita. That has a 2-day carryover of $69,000. My favorite wager easily, because if it doesn't carry over, it always pays very, very well. Make sure you check out that wager today. And last but not least, my seminar guest today, he's got the new guy in town. He rides 6 races today. 4 of them are morning line favorites. We're going to get the inside scoop on all 6 of those runners. His name, Matt Nakatani. Matt, happy Friday. Welcome to the seminar.
Tom, how are you?
It's great to see you. Now let's first talk about Umberto Rispoli, because of course not only do you represent Florent Giroux, the new guy in town, but you also represent Umberto Rispoli, who unfortunately went down in a spill on Pegasus World Cup Day at Gulfstream Park. Everybody wants to know, how is Umberto doing?
You know, he finally made it back home. We were there for 12 days in Florida. It was long, I can tell you that much. But the best news about it is everything went to standard. The doctors are very happy with him. And like I said, it's just taking it day by day now. He's home. He's in his own bed, so that helps. It's just going to take time, but he's doing well.
That is great news. Of course, he has a beautiful family, his wife and his 2 sons. You went to go visit the family, I believe, a day or 2 ago. How are his spirits in general?
Yeah,
you know, he's so competitive. That's why I asked.
He is. I keep telling Florent he's got 2 agents now because Umberto watches every single race and can dissect it better than anybody I know. But, listen, he's home. Like I said, it's just going to take time. He's doing really well. His spirits, for the most part, are good, but I know he wants to be out there too. So it's hard anytime these jockeys get an injury that puts them out for several months because you never know what you're going to miss.
Well, we want him out here too. So best wishes, Umberto, if you're watching, to you and your beautiful family. And of course, all of us here at Santa Anita and everybody watching, wish him nothing but a speedy recovery and a full recovery, and hope to see him back in the saddle sometime real soon. Now, talking about jockeys, I'd be remiss in not asking about your dad, Corey Nakatani. Of course, he's been long retired. I know he's traveling around the country, maybe traveling around the world, having a lot of good times. What's he been up to lately, and how's he feeling?
Yeah, he's still doing the same thing, spending a lot of time with my little sister. She's 17 now, actually. And jumping horses, I mean, that's basically the horses run through our veins. And it might not be the racetrack, but he's still involved one way or another. But he travels the country from Canada to Michigan, Kentucky. Basically spends all his time around show jumpers.
I know early on in your career, Matt, your dad was a big mentor for you, but of course now you've become established. Do you still communicate with him maybe on a daily or a weekly basis, talking to him about various things that only I could imagine?
Yeah, usually the only time he chimes in is when something's going wrong.
He never pats you on the back when something's going right.
He sees or maybe he hears about a story or something, that, hey, what happened here? And it's always good to see, like I said, over the years, he's got more than experience of dealing with, different trainers, different owners. So it's always nice to hear these stories, how things kind of play out. And, like I said, my main thing as an agent is I always want to see it from the trainer or owner's perspective. And I think that's what makes me good, because I put myself in their shoes and figure out what they want first.
And in pedigree, the most important partner is the dam, of course. So I'd be remiss in not asking about your mom, Michelle. How's she doing? Where's she at these days?
She's doing great. She started actually last year working for Chad Brown.
Wonderful.
So she's an assistant trainer on the East Coast. She's currently in New York right now.
A little cold.
Blizzard conditions. Yeah, I get a couple videos here and there of 3 feet of snow outside. But luckily enough, I send her a picture here, and she says, "Wow, I'm a cowbred. I wish I was there."
Everybody wishes.
But she's doing really well. Yeah,
Good.
she's doing really well. She'll be back in Kentucky, and as his main assistant in Kentucky throughout the year.
Well, good luck to her and her new endeavors. And last but not least, of course, I think you surprised the racing community by announcing that Florent Giroux was going to come out to Southern California. You guys have gotten off to a fantastic start. 30 mounts you are winning at a 20% win clip. You won a stakes race for trainer Bob Baffert. How did that relationship between you and Florent all come about that brought him to Southern California?
I've known Flo for many years now. Obviously, Umberto and him are very good friends. And honestly, it was a last-minute thing where he came to the hospital to visit Umberto. Like I said, we were there for 12 days. I think he came maybe the 4th or 5th day that we were there. And Umberto straight up asked him, like, hey, what are you doing right now?
One thing led to another.
One thing led to the next, and next thing you know, he calls me like a couple days later, and he said, Matt, I'd really like to come to California with you. And like I said, well, in that case, I was still in Florida booking his rides because I stayed for all 12 days with Umberto there in the hospital. And basically, like I said, one thing led to the next. And next thing you know, he was out here and, pretty good reception so far. So obviously winning races helps. And, we're just taking it day by day and trying to get the next big horse for him.
Well, not just winning races, Matt, but you're the envy of many jockey agents because you immediately got on the Bob Baffert barn and you delivered with that stakes winner, Plutarch, winning the Robert B. Lewis. How were you able to get in Bob Baffert's barn so quickly? And did he have a previous relationship with Florent around the country and other jurisdictions?
Yeah, he did. He's ridden for Bob many times over the years. And, Flo came out a couple years ago, actually, to Del Mar to ride for Bob. Won a couple races for him, but for most part, it was Bob's calling of putting that last nail in the coffin of, hey, talking to Flo, said, hey, you should come out here. I could really use you. And like I said, one thing led to the next, and next, you're off and running. So it really helps, obviously, getting able to work with Bob Baffert and all the trainers on the backside.
George Papapadromo,
trainer,
Robert Falcone.
Yeah, any trainer. My main idea first was to follow along with Umberto's business and try to continue on with the horses. I knew Umberto's going to be out a couple months. If he could continue on and continue with his business. Obviously when Umberto went down, he was leading rider. Before that, Del Mar meet, we were leading rider. So there was a lot of horses up for grabs. And like I said, it was done so fast, so quick, kind of a lot of scrambling. But I said for the most part, it's worked out great and continue to build. And you never know what's going to lead.
No grass grows under Matt Nakatani's feet, that's for sure. We're going to find out who Matt likes on today's 9-race card. As I mentioned, Flo of the Jock rides 6 of them, including 4 morning line favorites. We'll get the inside scoop on all of that. But before we do, let's get those important changes from track announcer Frank Miramati on double pick 6 carryover day here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place where the track is fast and the turf course is firm, the rail on the turf at 20 feet. Here are the early changes on today's card. We have a Sunset 6 carryover starting with Gulfstream's 8th of just under $70,000. No scratches in race 1. In the second, just a blinker note, as is the case with the first. Race 3, no changes. 4 starts to $2 pick 6. We have a carryover of $198,741. 3, Tony's Fever, 2 pounds over. Turning to race 5, start of the late pick 5, scratch 6, Orange Thunder, scratch 12, Ryan's Girl. All turf pick 3 also starts with the 5th. Nothing in the 6th, which starts the late pick 4. The 7th is the first leg of the $3 late pick 3. No scratches or jock changes. 8th race, scratch 4, Midway Lane. Jockey change for 7, Fausto to Armando Ayuso. $5 late double wagering offered. And the 9th has super high 5 wagering. Scratch 6, like and subscribe. 11, Sands of Time. And 12, Saharian. Those are the changes on this huge carryover day. Welcome to Free Friday at the Great Race Place. We are 58 minutes away from race number 1. The Coast to Coast Pick 5 is offered every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, combining races from Gulfstream Park as well as those from Santa Anita Park. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. His special guest today is Matt Nakatani.
Welcome back. We're talking horse with Matt Nakatani. He's the agent for both the sidelined Umberto Rispoli as well as Florent Giroux, who rides 6 races today, including 4 morning line favorites. So, Matt, let's roll up our sleeves, get right to it. In race number 1, which begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5, we are on the turf course. 1 1/8 is the distance. The turf rails today are at 20 feet. This race is for maiden claiming 3-year-old fillies in for a $50,000 tag. We've got a good field of 10 to kick things off. The original morning line favorite was your mount, number 1, Can't Say That, at 7-2 on the morning line, who's now 9-2 on the board. But the one taking the early action is the one coming back on a quick turnaround, number 7, Channel Place for trainer Doug O'Neill. 2-1 on the tote board right now. Real good betting race to kick things off in the 50-cent early pick 5. Let's first start with Can't Say That. First time Lasix, first time turf. What's the story that Mr. Papa Bodromo told you to take them out?
Yeah, George is a big supporter of mine. No matter who I have as a rider, he's always
He's a fun guy to hang out with. Let's face it, right?
He
knows what he's doing.
Known my family for a long, long time.
He's winning at a 23% weight clip. You want to be buddies with him.
Exactly. It's the right guy to be with right now. So, this filly is actually a friend of mine's horse from Jimmy Perello from Vegas.
And the Bello family.
Yep, and the Bellos. She's an honest filly. She's tried hard every single race. We kept saying longer the better. So you could see it in her last race. She really really excelled when she got to go a mile. She's been off a little while just because the fact that the race didn't fill. We've been trying to get in that same exact race, and it wasn't filling. So she ends up here today. First time grass, first time going a mile and eighth, but I think she can definitely handle it.
If there was a danger to your mount, Matt, who would you consider to be her most likely competitor?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really like horses coming back. You know, if they come back in a week or so, yeah, but they definitely need time between their races. But I think the 7 Channel Place, she's just the class of the field. She's running obviously against much better horses, and if you could see the running lines that she has, she's definitely proven herself against those. So they definitely taken a big drop in class, dropping to 50. She should be the horse to beat, even though she's coming back in I think, 6 days, 7 days.
1 and 7 to kick things off in race number 1. Matt, before we take a look at race number 2, a question for you. I mentioned that right out of the gate, I should say. You guys won a stake race with Plutarch for Mr. Baffert. Of course, that opens a lot of doors, right? Because you don't want a jockey coming to town and going, for his first 100. Florent has done the exact opposite of that. What's been the general reception of the trainers who rode you with Umberto, and now you're trying to sell them to use Florent?
Yeah, the one thing I noticed more and more, I didn't necessarily know this, but Florent's won a lot of races for a lot of California trainers, and especially when they ship east, he's won a lot of big races for California connections. So it was pretty easy as soon as I stepped foot on the grounds. Oh, he won, the mine shaft for me at Fairgrounds. Oh, he won this race at Churchill for me. Oh, he's won the Indiana Derby for me, So it was just like multiple. And I'm like, you know what? He's the couple times he's come to California, he's won grade 1s for Carla Gaines, Dan Blacker. So there's so many trainers that he was already established with that it makes it very easy. They know who he was, and that obviously makes my job the easiest, where my job is, to ride the best horse and give him the best opportunity to win.
He's had about a month to settle in here. What does he think of the Southern California lifestyle?
I would say the weather's great.
But we have other options as well. You know what I mean? We've got the beach, we've got the mountains, we've got Las Vegas nearby, we've got the Bay Area. I mean, it's not a bad place to live. Is he enjoying himself?
He's definitely enjoying himself. He's doing a little traveling back and forth. He actually had to fly back to Fairgrounds 2 weeks ago.
I remember.
To won a stake over there. So he's just kind of, getting his feet wet here. And like I said, I think so far he's enjoying it. And you never know where it's going to lead.
Well, we're enjoying his performance. He's gotten off to a great start, and he's certainly a welcome addition to the jockey colony. Let's take a look at race 2, Matt. You don't have a mount in this race. Race 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're sprinting 5.5 furlongs in the main track. Fillies and mares in for a $10,000 tag. Non-winners of 2 races lifetime. A field of 5. Number 2, Deep Blue, taking a big drop down in class for the aforementioned Dan Blacker, is the 6-5 morning line favorite. Give us your thoughts on race 2.
Yeah, I think it starts with Deep Blue, and the race may well go through her. Now, you always caution yourself when horses taking this big of a drop. What's the issue? Why is she doing it? And most importantly, like I said, she seems like she hasn't missed a beat in the mornings, which to me as an agent would give you confidence that she's willing to run a race. And, you're probably going to smile ear to ear seeing her at this level.
Fair enough. Number 2, Deep Blue, the morning line favorite, and Matt Nakatani's top choice. Let's talk about Florent's morning activities. You talked about Deep Blue having some morning activity since her last race. Has Florent been out a lot in the morning? Is he getting on a lot of horses in the morning?
Yeah, it's funny. The first question I asked him coming here was, how did it work in Kentucky? And typically riders over there, they work for their barns or their stable outfits. There's a lot of first call riders out there where you get to ride the entire barn for a top trainer. He's had
Irad for Chad as one example.
Irad, Pratt, you name it. And
Sure.
Like I said, for Florent, he's been riding for Brad Cox for many, many years now. And that was typically his schedule, was to show up and work horses for Brad Cox. So here I obviously wanted to get his feet wet with a couple different trainers, try to do my best to spread it around and keep everybody happy. It's hard. Trust me, it's really hard. But and then you got Bob knocking at the door saying he wants his certain times, XYZ. He's worked his top horses in his barn already to date, and like I said, it's going really well. like I said, if you can deliver in the afternoons, you can deliver in the mornings. Everything goes smoothly. So that's the goal moving
The
forward.
short answer, and you nailed it on the head, Matt, is it's hard to keep everybody quote unquote happy, right? Let's face it, it's basically impossible.
Yeah.
But you and Florent try and do the best job you possibly can, given the number of hours available in every certain day.
Yeah. Like I said, he's breezed 4 this morning. He's going to breeze 4 or 5 tomorrow. He's going to breeze 5 or 6 on Sunday. And on top of that, he's riding 5-6 races a day. So he's definitely staying busy, which I think he enjoys that. Certain riders have their different outputs. Like I could tell you with Humberto, he hates working horses. He'd rather just show up in the afternoon. So if you come out, you make it come out for the right ones, the ones you need to, those type of things. So it's balancing the act of everybody, keeping everybody happy. And you got to keep your jockey happy too.
For sure. Have you and Florent, not that you're not busy enough, have you guys hopped on the 15 freeway and gone down to San Luis Rey yet together?
Not yet. We've been staying busy here. So that's probably the next step down the road.
One day at a time. Race number 3, Matt, we're back on the turf course, 1 mile to the distance. Starter allowance types, those runners who have started for a claiming price of $16,000 or less, either last year or this year. We've got a field of 7. You do ride the morning line favorite in here once again, number 4, Trusty Rusty from the Bob Hess barn at 7-5. Before we get your thoughts on the race, believe it or not, 6 of these 7 runners exit the same race. This race was back on January 30th. We're going to watch the replay. Trusty Rusty is going to be wearing saddlecloth number 6. I would call this an uncomfortable trip. He was the 6-5 betting choice this particular afternoon. You'll be easily able to follow him. He's wearing saddlecloth number 6. The winner, Please Focus, goes wire to wire after adding blinkers and going sprint to route for trainer Steve Knapp. The other runner, if it's possible for you to watch, is the runner breaking from post position number 2. So I'm told. This particular replay we're about to watch, Hector Barros was in the saddle. He elected not to go early with Please Focus. I have a feeling today, so I'm told, might show a little bit more early speed. If that's the case, maybe Trusty Rusty can get up. But you be the judge. Let's watch the replay back on January 30th. Listen to Frank Miramati describe the action and watch the runners wearing saddlecloths numbers 2 and 6.
They're in the gate. And they're off. So I'm Told is going to the front. Feel the magic, but here's Please Focus, intent on getting to the front. And on the inside, So I'm Told, trying to deny. So Please Focus. Ayuso puts the pedal to the metal and gets what he wants over to the inside and in command. So I'm Told is now racing in second, and Feel the Magic a close-up third. They're followed by Druidic, who's 3 wide. Mongolian Apple is racing in between horses, and down at the rail comes Bruto, who's a good 6 lengths off the lead as they swing on to the back stretch. Trusty Rusty and Malibu Rocks are next to one another, and 3 more to Uncle Evco. They run past the half-mile pole, or will shortly, and it's Please Focus, the leader. Has it by a length and a half. Feel the Magic in second, So I'm Told third. Druidic in the black colors is fourth, 3.5 or 4 lengths off the lead. Then comes Mongolian Apple, who's down on the inside, a length and a half back. Malibu Rocks has 10 lengths to make up, passed just now by Trusty Rusty. Bruto drops back, and outside of him is Uncle Evco. 1/4 mile to go, and Please Focus trying to cling to this lead. Turns for home, 2 lengths in front of So I'm Told. Feel the Magic on the outside third. Trusty Rusty making some headway late. 16th pole, and So I'm Told trying to close that gap on Please Focus. Please Focus, though, is tough on the lead. Trusty Rusty coming late. It will be Please Focus.
Matt Yermont, Trusty Rusty made the late run, but unfortunately it was too little too late. Like I said, I think the pace scenario could be a little bit different today. And of course, Please Focus has to duplicate that performance. What's Mr. Hess told you about Trusty Rusty?
Yeah, he's a hard knock, and at this level, he's run some tremendous races, even if you go back to his form lines at Del Mar. If he runs anything near that today, I think he's definitely the horse to beat on paper. My hope, looking at the races, is definitely to see a little more speed in the race today, especially the rails are going to be at 20 feet on that day where you saw the replay. They believe they were at 30 feet. Yep. Yeah, which carries a little more to speed. I know a couple of these horses, I used to ride them back in the day, Please Focus and So I'm Told, and they were definitely horses that wanted to be forwardly placed. So if there's a little more speed on paper today, it should help which is why I picked both Trusty Rusty and a horse like Maniatic. Like I said, if you can go all the way back to his turf form, he's running against much better horses than you're seeing today, and see if he can get a piece at a big price.
Race number 4 is when the fireworks begin. That's because it's the first leg of the $2 pick six. As you saw, $198,000 already in the kitty. Expectations are we'll easily sail past $1 million of new money. And we kick things off in race 4, going 1 mile on the main track for maiden claiming Calbred 3-year-olds in for a $20,000 tag. A field of 5. Number 1, Bandolero from the Steve Knapp barn, adding Lasix and also taking a drop down in class, is the 7-5 Maury Line favorite. You don't have a mountain here, so we're relying on your handicapping expertise, Matt. Who do you like and why?
Yeah, it's a tough race on paper because it's hard to trust these horses.
Sure is.
So it could be one where you don't, a horse you wins don't expect, or you can typically say that, they chalk out. So for me, this race, I look like the one he's run against when I saw his mile race at at Los Al. A couple of those horses have come back to win. And I think Scattalonga Ding Dong, he ran fourth too, but the horse that ran third has come back to win a maiden special mile route race here. So if you look at it as just as pure class, a horse that believe you want to go 2 turns with, he gets that today at the bottom level of maiden 20 Calbreds. He should be the one to beat.
Race number 5 begins both the 50-cent late pick 5 as well as the $3 all turf pick 3. The $3 all turf pick 3 has a reduced 15% takeout, and we kick off both wagers in race 5, once again going 1 mile on the turf course. Calbred fillies and mares, non-winner of one other than. There are 2 scratches. Scratch the 6 and the 12. That means one of the AEs, number 11, does draw into the race. Take note the pedigree on both number 1 Quantum Energy and number 5 Fibiacha's Ride. They are full sisters. That's right. Same sire, same dam. You don't see that very often, 1 year apart in age. You ride in this race number 10, Pavel's Atois on the bottom, Matt, number 10 for Antonio Garcia, going sprint to route. Florat in the saddle. Give us your thoughts on race 5.
Yeah, I think she's going to be a filly that's going to be forwardly placed today. Obviously, breaking from the 10 hole, it's not ideal. It's not great going a mile in the grass. But if you can break and hopefully get over, whether it's sitting in the 2 path or maybe get some cover right behind the leaders, she's definitely been a filly that's shown that we think in the mornings that she's shown that she wants to go 2 turns. So today's her first time she gets to do it. My guess she's going to be definitely a lively price here today. The one horse I'm obviously worried about to beat, looks like there's a lot of speed on paper, and I know Quantum Energy was actually a horse that Umberto was supposed to ride in her last race, and Mullins came to me and said, I just need this filly to find some cover in the first turn and get outside in the second turn. And when she gets outside, she comes with a tremendous late kick. And that's what you saw last time through moderate fractions. They didn't really go too quick up front, which I think today you're definitely going to get a quicker pace. So it should set up for a late closing kick.
A couple of comments and a question for you, man. First of all, the comments, Pavot, it's wild that you're mounted with Florent Giroux. The dam actually won 2 turns on the turf course, and her half-sister also won going long as well. All part of the Redham Racing family. And of course, Mr. Redham bred and owns this horse. Have you guys golfed any exotic golf courses lately? I know you've done that in the past.
Yeah, we do. He's currently in the Bahamas right now.
Of course he is.
So fortunately, I can't visit him at this moment.
You were close when you were in Florida.
I was, but I was spending every day at the hospital.
Of course,
so
as you should
sticking to
be.
my job. So.
Of course.
But no, I know he comes back here in the next month or 2. So the course will definitely be sitting there waiting for us.
For those golfers, make them jealous. Tell them a few courses you've played in the past. I'm sure Pebble Beach is one of them.
Actually, Mr. Redham took me on a trip last year to Pebble Beach. Played Spyglass, Pebble, and played Pebble multiple times in a 3-day trip, and got to play Spanish Bay. Yeah, we played I've played a lot of good courses. We play a lot here at Pelican Hill, Del Mar Country Club, Shady Canyon.
Who's a better golfer, you or your dad? Come on, spit it out. Tell us on camera, live TV.
He's still pretty good. So if I get the appropriate amount of shots, yeah, on a good day I can beat him.
He still plays quite a bit.
Oh yeah, he still plays.
That's amazing.
But he's not going to tell you that.
No. He wants to hustle you.
Yeah.
Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're sprinting 5.5 furlongs on the main track for fillies and mares. $10,000 is the claiming tag. Non-winners of 3 races lifetime. A field of 6. Plenty of early speed signed up, including the morning line favorite number 3 Tiger Fire at 8-5. How'd you see race 6, Matt?
Yeah, this was another race that I thought there was plenty of speed on paper. I know it's going 5.5. But for me, the class of the field was the 4. I think, how do you say that? Manier. She at the level you could see 2 back. She was odds-on favorite. Just might have been too short for her that day. But, she tried a Calvert allowance condition, which is way tougher than you're ever going to get going against 10 non-threes. So here she is back to the appropriate level with a little speed on paper. If she duplicates, her last race, she should be right there.
Race number 7 begins at $3 late pick 3, also with a reduced 15% takeout. And we kick off that wager sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf courts. It's an allowance optional claiming race, Non-winners of 2 other than. We've got a really good field of 10 here. This is a really good betting race. The lukewarm morning line favorite is your Mount Matt on the bottom, number 10, Son of a Birch from the Robert Falcone Jr. 7-2 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, I actually want to watch the Southern California debut for Son of a Birch. This was back on January 23rd. You can see in the company running line, Speedboat Beach was in this race. Very few horses can keep pace early with Speedboat Beach. Son of a Birch actually tries in this replay we're about to watch. It's only a 4-horse field, but there's some things I wanted to take out of this replay once we watch it to ask you, Matt. So let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action back on January 23rd. Son of a Birch will be wearing saddlecloth number 4, and Umberto Rispoli will be in the saddle.
And they're off. Speedboat Beach rockets out of the gate. Gran Oriente on the outside. Son of a Birch is third and now moving up after the top pair, leaving St. Anthony by himself at the back of the field. So Speedboat Beach, with the most natural early speed, has it by a head, but Umberto Rispoli is going to have none of that. And Son of a Birch engages Speedboat Beach, but Speedboat Beach opens up once again, and now it's suddenly 2 lengths. Gran Oriente is in third, and St. Anthony. Speedboat Beach opens up. Now it's 3 lengths. Son of a Birch, Gran Oriente on the outside, and St. Anthony is 4 lengths off Speedboat Beach, who comes toward the quarter pole in control, drifts out a bit while maintaining the lead. Gran Oriente takes up the chase to challenge him at the 8th pole, and Gran Oriente means business. Speedboat Beach lead down to a head. Gran Oriente trying to get by him. Speedboat Beach fully extended, holding firm. Gran Oriente on the outside keeps coming at him. Gran Oriente, Speedboat Beach. Gran Oriente, Speedboat Beach. Gran Oriente outruns Speedboat Beach.
Takeaway from that replay, a Son of a Birch never gave up, even on the gallop out here. You can see Umberto Rispoli trying to keep pace with the top 2 finishers. The winner actually ran in a Breeders' Cup race this past year at Del Mar. We all know about Speedboat Beach, and there's our friend Son of a Birch on the gallop out. I thought that was a very impressive performance, even though he finished third in a field of 4 in Robert Falcone. He needs no introduction to turf sprinters. Gratefully comes to mind. Won the Wishing Well with your jock in the saddle. What a cool mare she is as well.
Yeah, she's undefeated, which I said you don't see that often, but
and the Baltus fired a big shot.
Yeah, and all we heard all week was how good the Baltus was. So for happy for Rob and the connections to come out here, win the 2X, a ship and win horse, and then go on to win a stakes. It's definitely something special, especially for small barn like Rob. I know he appreciates that.
Now, Matt, not only did we watch that replay of Son of a Birch, but I also wanted to show the training track drill since that race on February 15th. Here he is, and once again, he is tugging the exercise rider out of the saddle. He wants to get it on, and you can see on the bottom, 46 and change. It was the second best out of 35 this particular morning. Obviously, this horse has a lot of early speed, very, very talented. What'd you and Mr. Falcone think of this workout?
Yeah, it was a happy horse, and that's the name of the game is you want happy horses doing their job. This horse has been honest. I mean, you can't put a knock on him. Down the hill, like I said last time, wasn't the cleanest of trips where small field, different outcomes. We wanted to not give Baffert the easy lead, so we had the press. We kind of did all the dirty work, and he still ran really well. So today, let's see how he breaks from the outside post. He could be sitting really close, and like I said, hopefully he's in the catbird seat to make a run when runs comes time.
I think 7-2 is more than a fair price, but this race is deep with a lot of question marks. So certainly a key race in the $2 pick 6 with $198,000 carryover. Let's take a look at race 8, Matt. We begin the $5 late daily double, also with a reduced 15% takeout. We're traveling 1 mile on the main track. Maiden special weight, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. That's right. first time this meet where 3-year-old maidens are running against older, and we've got a couple in here, 2 of them trained by Bob Baffert. There is one scratch, number 4, Midway Lane. Also take note, number 6, Eruption is a first-time gelding. The jockey on number 7, Fausto, is Amando Ayuso. Once again, you ride the morning line favorite, number 2, Winston Ave from the Bob Baffert barn. Before we get your thoughts on the race, I wanted to show a workout, Matt, for Winston Ave since his last disappointing performance. This workout was back on February 1st. It was in tandem with the eventual Grade 2 Robert B. Lewis winner Plutarch. There's our friend Winston Ave on the inside. I don't know if you had the privilege or the opportunity to watch this workout yet, but to me, this workout stamped Winston Ave as a serious contender this afternoon, Matt, because he more than holds his own with Plutarch, who we know already is a graded stakes winner. Today, this 3-year-old runner from the Baffert barn just faces maidens.
Yeah, this horse, I actually got to ride first time out with Umberto. And Umberto was very high on him after the race. He ran a game second, and we so badly wanted to ride him back when he came to a second race. So I know Umberto, main thing he mentioned to me was when this horse gets to go 2 turns, he could be a star.
We'll take a look at it as we continue to watch the workout here. There's 2 relatively unexpected workmates. Not only does Winston Ave kind of veer to the outside here, but he's very game and not only passing those 2 unexpected workmates, but you can see, although the exercise rider on Plutarch is not necessarily asking him for everything he has, good old Winston Ave here is more than holding his own, draws away from that company, and continues to fight out Plutarch. I think Umberto's right. The farther they go as we continue to watch this gallop out, the better Winston Ave is going to be.
Let's hope he's right, because it'll hopefully pay off today. So, the only caveat to this race is he's a 3-year-old facing a couple older horses, which is pretty early in the year to do that. But hopefully if he can overcome that, then, he's got something special.
And there is a weight break. It's interesting you mentioned that, Matt, because the older horses, 4-year-olds, don't have to carry 126. Winston Ave carries 118, as do the other 3-year-olds. So they do get an 8-pound weight break, but you're right. It is early in their 3-year-old campaign. One other thing I want to draw viewers' attentions to in Winston Ave's debut performance that you mentioned, when Umberto Rispoli rode him, you can see the winner was so happy. All so happy did was come back and win the Grade 2 San Vicente right here at San Diego. So that was a better than average maiden special weight event down at Del Mar. Excuse me. We close out race number 9, offering $1 super high 5 wager, and once again 1 mile on the turf course. Maiden claiming 3-year-olds in for a $50,000 tag. 3 scratches. Scratch the 6, 11, and 12. That leaves us with a field of 9. The morning line favorite, number 4, Biggie from the Doug O'Neill barn. You do ride another runner here for Mr. Baffert, number 2, Nezha with Florent in the saddle. Give us your thoughts on a winner to close it out, Matt.
Yeah, listen, Florent's horse is first time out, maybe got a little experience. It's tough to get a trip 3-4 wide going first time out, mile on the grass. So he's realistically spotted today. I'm sure the game plan is to probably put him into the race and take it from there. The horse I think obviously to beat would be Keegman as well as Biggie. They both come out of a pretty solid race last time. Keegman being actually a good friend of mine's horse, Keith Johnson. I know he's looking forward to today, and like I said, he's definitely probably got the horse to beat today, and I think he could be tough from the outside post if he can get over and clear the field.
2, 10, and 4 in no particular order for Matt Nakatani to close it out. Matt, thanks so much for your time and insight. On behalf of everybody here at San Diego, next time you talk or visit with Umberto, which I'm sure will be later today, please give him our best thoughts and best wishes for a speedy recovery, and keep up the great work you've already done with Florent. Hopefully you can find another Kentucky Derby contender, and we'll see you the first Saturday in May at Churchill Downs.
Yeah, that's the goal every year, to be back there. And like I said, we were so close last year. Obviously writing journalism, but like you said, you never know what the new year can bring.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the great work, Matt. Before we let you guys go watching the seminar, a couple of reminders. The Coast to Coast Pick 5, of course, kicks off today. That's a $1 minimum with a low 15% takeout. And I've been talking about it for the last 40 minutes. $1 Sunset 6 carryover. $69,000 already in the pool. $1 minimum, low 15% takeout. That'll begin with Gulfstream Park, race number 8, 12:53 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Best of luck on all your wagers, including both Pick 6 carryovers. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Track conditions are brought to you by John Deere. The track is fast. The turf is firm. The rail on the turf is out 20 feet. Here are the changes. No new reports. First race starts the early pick 5, but it also gives us a chance to remind you about the Sunset pick 6 carryover, 69,000 plus. Just the blinker note. Sunset 6 starts with Gulfstream's 8th. It's the last 3 from Gulfstream, last 3 from Santa Anita Park. In race 2, beginning of the early pick 4, no scratches. The third race has no program changes. The fourth kicks off the $2 pick 6, double carryover of $198,000 plus, 3 Tony's Fever, 2 pounds over. In the fifth, the late pick 5 and all turf pick 3 begin. Program scratch of the 6, take out the also eligible as well, 12. Ryan's Girl, all turf pick 3, late pick 5 wagering offer. First leg of the late pick 4 has no changes. In the 7th, just the blinker note on the bottom of the page. All turf pick 3 is the one that starts with race number 5. The late pick 3 begins with the 7th. 8th race, scratch 4, Midway Lane, and a jockey change on 7, Fausto to Armando Ayuso. And in the 9th, scratch the also eligibles 11 and 12, as well as the 6, Like and Subscribe. Super high 5 wagering is offered. Scratch 6, 11, and 12 out of the finale. Best of luck in these huge carryovers today. The Coast to Coast Pick 5 is offered every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That one begins with Gulfstream's 9th. Enjoy your day. 26 minutes to post.